just included as a, well, didn't think about it too much. I don't know that I needed to include that, but let's not be concerned about that for the moment. And then over to the animal on the right, and we'll pop a line of shadow in there for the ear, little indication of the eye, and then the nose here is also dark. And there are other shadows, of course, but they're not quite as dark as the ones I've put in. Having put those really dark areas in, I'm now switching to 1/2 inch flat brush. I've still got this ultramarine blue here that I used just a moment ago, but now I'm going to go in and pick up a little bit of that burnt umber mix that I use for the hedgerows and mix some of that in. And then I'm going to mix in some of the white I've got left over here as well. Probably could do with grabbing some more white, but we'll see how it goes with this colour. So that's not too bad, I don't think. So what we'll do is add a bit of water to both the painting and the palette with the spray. And then what I'm going to do is squint at my reference, and I'm going to just look at the big dark areas and keep in mind the general direction in which the surface of the animal is curving. Now obviously, you know, sheep's wool has a multitude of textures, you know, across the whole body, but at this kind of distance and with this particular style of painting, I don't need to be overly concerned with any of that, certainly not at this stage in proceedings anyway. So really what we're doing is, the other way to look at this is, you could say, well, where are the brightest areas, leave those untouched for the moment and fill in everything else. That's more or less what I'm doing. So for that reason, I'm going to leave a little burst of uncoated paper along the top of the back there. And, you know, but we will fill in the rest of the body below that. And again, this is just the first kind of shadow layer. So we will be adding other colours and darker tones and possibly even lighter tones within the shadow layer. But again, you can see I'm moving the brush in kind of a scumbling back and forth fashion. And I was chatting and not thinking there, and I went all the way up to my orange line, which I shouldn't have done. And I've also realised I've missed off a little bit of green there, but we can fix that later. So it's nothing to be overly worried about. But for this lamb on the left, we can darken most of its silhouette, but again leaving little bursts of light coming through, because we've got this wonderful sort of spring morning light beaming in from behind the animals, so they're kind of backlit. So this lamb on the right hand side, it's got a little halo of light on the left edge of its silhouette. It's a bit of light catching the top of its head, a bit of light sort of pouring down there, making an inverted, almost an inverted V. And that's probably enough for the moment. But while I've got this colour on the brush, let's put a little bit more blue into the mix and mix it into the green that we had. And we'll also put just a little touch of the alizarin into that as well. And what we can do is just put a little dusting, little misting of water onto the painting. And then I can use this dark, kind of darker shadowy green to begin to put some shadows into parts of the field or around the animals where there's a little cast shadow. There are some longer tufts of grass here perhaps. So that's gonna help, I hope, create the illusion that the light's coming from behind. So I've mixed up a new shadow colour from burnt umber, ultramarine blue, and a little bit of the alizarin crimson and a little bit of the tinting white as well. And I'm just using my flat 1/2 inch brush to